Today's good. All right, good. Um, so let's start with logarithm. Um,
Mr. Nick,
mhm.
what's the structure of the AP test?
um, okay, give me a second. Structure AP test. Yeah, I for me like right now I won't worry about it, but I'll give you kind of easy breakdown. It's basically 40 questions, I think. Calculus 45 and this is 40. So you're gonna have 30 question without calculator, multiple choice, and 10 question with a calculator. And for response, I don't know how many question. I think it's two and two. Two question with calculator and two question without calculator. For response, it's not like you have to write essay. No, you just write math sentences. So you show work of each things, and you just have to show like. So for example, if I ask you to find the vertex of the quadratic equation, now I don't think vertex is on that. They will just ask you, can you find vertex? What you're gonna do is you're gonna set negative b over 2a and find out x and then find out a y, and that's pretty much it. Now they might ask you says is this function is how many non-real zero is. Um, so you can just use quadratic formula or use discriminant. You can find out okay there's is positive, so they've got two zeros. If it's zero, you got then you got one zeros. If negative number, you got two non-real zero numbers. So and you have to justify. Justify would be like something like I don't know. I can't give an example on pre-cal because I don't know what a pre-cal FRQ look like, and we're not gonna worry about it until next March anyway. So we'll get there. We'll worry about that. But yeah, everything else is gonna be fairly straightforward. It's gonna be easier than my test. Um, pretty much pretty much this at least calculus goes now pre-cal I don't have things. If you can consistently get like 70s on my test, 70 or 80 on my test, usually is a 5 on calculus. If you can consistently get above 60, then that's usually a 4. If you consistently passing with above a 40 or 50, yeah, they'll probably end up with 3. And my score is pretty like exact for us scoring range. At 70% at AP exam, you are scoring a 5. So, but my test is harder. So, my test is just like handwritten, always a free response anyway. So hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, you should have a calculator still because calculator is gonna get a bit more impact. Um, so what is logarithm, right? So log. You guys studied about log before, and you guys probably don't remember it, and it's normal that you don't remember log. It's one of the things that people don't remember. Um, so let's go through this. Um, uh, logarithm. Okay, so this is a log. You have few type of log. You have a just a log, just regular log. That is equate to log base 10. Always 10. Now, why log base 10 is important is because um, everything in terms of log scale. What do I mean by log scale? I'll give you an example. For example, earthquake. Anybody been through earthquake before? Raise your hand. Wow. Okay, you guys are Floridians. Never go to live in West Coast? No. Okay. But when I grew up, I live in Taiwan. Taiwan is in a place called Ring of Fire. You know what Ring of Fire is? It's pretty much Japan, Indonesia, Japan, um, Alaska, California, Peru, Argentina. This is called Ring of Fire. This is where it's all the volcano activity is. So you are consistently gonna get earthquake. Now there's a scale, earthquake is scale. So earthquake scale 4. For example, what's the difference between 4 and 5? Does anybody know? What's the difference between scale 4 and scale 5? What? Almost 10 times. So 4 to 5 is 10 times, but 4 to 6 is 100 times. That's called logarithm scales because they are base of 10. They increase by tenfold, then you increase the scale by 1. So for example, an earthquake, right? That if you have scale 3, right? That if this is scale 3, and scale 4, this is 10 times larger. And from 4 to 5, it's another 10 times larger. And from 5 to 6, it's 10 times larger. So you're gonna say, okay, from 3 to 6, that's what? 1,000 times worse than before. Okay, so about let's give you some idea. A scale 1 is gonna be like you don't barely feel it. You're gonna be like nothing's moving. You're gonna feel like nothing is moving, but there was an earthquake. But if earthquake 2, you might see a little bit of movement, but you don't really feel it. Sometimes in Florida you can get up to scale 2, and nobody would know it. But there was violently different than the first one. Now at 3, you can start feel like shaking, like this, slowly movements. At 4, you're gonna shake like this. It's a lot wider. I've been to a scale of 6 or 5, it was about 5.3 or 5.5, and that was like this. Okay? Now when you get a scale 6, it's gonna be like this and it's up and down. And that's how you crumble buildings. And 7, it's 10 times worse than that. That's where all the buildings crumble. 7 usually can kill a lot of people. And usually 7 only occur in like a very deep mountain in like Argentina where there's like 3 people live there, or Peru, or like, and not, okay, not a lot of people. Why is that funny, Ben?
Oh no, Venus and Peru are
Okay, so anyway, so Peru has a lot of earthquake, about 7.2, but they are in the middle of nowhere, so nobody can feel it. The only time that's gonna feel it is like when it's Japan is really bad. California, they are waiting a potential one that is really big. At least a lot of people is anticipating that. A lot of earthquake scientists says, if there's one happen in San Francisco or California, it's gonna kill a lot of people. But that's earthquake scale. There's another scale that is it's a different too, like sound, decibels. Sound is also logarithmic scales. There's one more thing. How many of you guys are in AP chemistry right now? You're not? How many of you guys are in chemistry? Okay, which one is logarithm scale?
pH.
pH, good job. Do you know the equation for pH? Almost. Okay, so pH is equal to negative log of the concentration of hydrogen ions So if I have a 0.1 molar, let's say 0.1 molar of HCl, right? That means concentration. So you can say, well, pH equal to negative log base 10 of 0.1 because HCl is a strong acid. It's a very strong acid. If you put your hand in there, your hand will turn black and it will just crawl away. So that's how bad you don't. That's why you always wear a lot of protective gear. So then you say, okay, well, how do I calculate that? This equal to negative log of 10 to the 10 to the negative 1 power. 0.1 is 10 to the negative 1 power, right? It's 1 over 10. And this, it's inverted to the other, so they will cancel out. So log 10, 10 is going to be cancel out, becomes 1. It'll be negative, negative 1, so it's 1. So if you have a 0.1 molar of hydrochloric acid, it will be a pH of 1. And that's a very strong. That's like your stomach. But do you guys know why your stomach has strong acid, but it doesn't melt your body away? Your stomach lining? Good. How do you know that? Who teach you that? Huh?
My mom.
Okay, nice. If you're taking AP Bio, you're supposed to learn that as well. Okay, so those are the things that you supposed to know. Now, can you tell me what is 0.001 is? Can you tell me what will be the pH of this one? This is going to cancel out. You got it? Everybody got it? Raise your hand. Okay, Robert.
2.
No. Let's try though. Log 10 and 10, it will cancel. We're going to explain that. Anyone else? Yes? 3 is right. So again, pH is equal to negative log of 10 of 0.001. And that you can rewrite as 10 to the negative 3 power. Why? Because 10 to the negative 3 is 0.001. That's like scientific notations. And this log 10 base 10 will cancel out. It'll be negative, negative 3. They're inverse to each other, and the 3, pH is 3. Now, you see the pH 1 and pH 3. This is 0.001 molar. And the other one is 0.01 molar. So that's 100 times. So if you times this by 100, you go back to here, and that's why. So that's a basic chemistry that you need to study when you go into chemistry at the end of the year. Has, I don't know if you have end of course exam, and this is what you got to study in AP Chem as well. Okay, so that's just basic logarithm scale. That's just basic application. So 3 different type of application that you can have: earthquake, decibels, sound. The way you hear the sound is the same way. It's by scale full of logarithm scales. And then last one is the pH. That's 3 most common one. Now, other situation I don't know about, but there are plenty situation that use logarithmic scales. Back then they use COVID cases. So if you draw a COVID cases and the cases growing like this, but if you change the logarithm scale, it will be like this. Why? Because from here is 1, for here's 10, for here's 100, for here's 1,000, and that's because every time you're going up by 1 scale, it's going to be exact tenfold than before. So it's really hard to go in like this way, because this is just going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, it's going to go straight up. But if you change the cases, then you can say the scale is 1, 10. If let's say millions, like 1 million, 10 million, 100 million, like 1 billion, then that's going to be definitely go like this. It's going to plateau into a number. Does that make sense? Because each scale is going to go up exactly tenfold than before. In order to go to the next scale, you had to multiply by 10 times. And that's what's the difference. Now, logarithm scale, basically done. Now let's talk about what's the difference between log form and exponential form. So log form and the exponent form. So this is y equal to log b of x. Now this is very confusing, but this is going to be by of x. So they represent exact same thing. It's one of them is called log form, one is called exponential form. Okay, log form and exponential form. So log form is going to be says y equal to log b of x. And exponential form is going to be by equal to x. They represent exact same thing. I'm going to show you how to convert it. Okay. So let's just say if I have exponential form, 3 to the second power is equal to what? What's 3 to the second power? 9. Good. So we're going to start with this name is base. This is exponent. This is where you start. Okay, this is where you start. You start from the base, you're going to draw a sideways heart. If you draw a sideways heart, it's going to look like this and like this. Okay? So you're going to convert it to logarithm form. You're going to start by writing a log. There's a base here. This base is going to be 3. Now you start at 3. So this is the base. And then you're going to go the other side. 9 is equal to 2. So log base 3 of 9 is equal to 2. Now, how do you convert back to exponential form? You're going to do the exact same thing. You can always start at a base. Sideways heart. So be 3 to the 2 power is equal to 9. So you just convert back. It's pretty easy. Okay, so we're going to give you a few practices. And you guys are going to tell me what they are. So first of all, A is going to be 2 equal to log 5 of x. I want you to convert to exponential form. Actually, you can actually evaluate it. In this particular case. You got it? Start with the base. Where's the base? 5. Right? And you're going to draw all the way across to the other side. It could be this way because you can start this way. So it'll be 5 to the second power is equal to x. So x is equal to 25. I just evaluated x. Pretty easy, right? I want you to do this one. 3 equal to log b of 64. I want you to see if you can find what b is. And once you convert to exponential form. And this one you can probably so log 3 of 7 is equal to y. So convert to exponential form. And we'll convert it back to logarithm form. Okay. You guys got it? Everybody, this is an easy test question, so you gotta know it. Jada, you got it? Hurry up. That's the easy part of the test. Oh, my bad. So this is a B, this is C. I want you to convert to exponential form. You can actually evaluate B. So if you think about it, what's B? What B? Good. So a sideway heart, I always start at the base. Boom, boom. B to the third is equal to 64. Now B to the third is equal to 4 to the third. So B must equal to 4. That's how you evaluate. So you need to know how to change bases. It's called common base equation. We've done this before. In this case, it's going to be 3 to the y is equal to 7. And that's it. There's nothing you can do. It's going to be 3 to the some type of power. It's going to be 7. Now, it requires different manipulation to figure out this is. You can actually use calculate evaluate this, but we're going to teach you how later. Okay, so let's go to the other side. That's a convert, the 12/2 is equal to x. Let's convert to the logarithm form. B to the q is equal to 8, and e to the y equal to 9. So I want you to change the logarithm form. I don't want you to evaluate it. I just want you to change the log form. And this only part take about 30 seconds to do. And you just learn the first 2 skills. A lot of people feel log is very scary, but you just have to believe that you know how to do it. Then you can slowly figure out. Yeah.
Is that a 4 or a y?
E to the y. All right. What's the first one? Let's ask Katie.
Log 12.
And that should be right. Let's ask Bennett.
3 log b8.
What?
3 equals log b of 8.
3 equal to log b of what?
8.
8. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Just a different way to do it. Okay, the last one. Jay.
Y equals log 8 to the y.
Y equal to log e of y.
Log 9.
Log e 9. Yeah, that's good. So now I'm going to talk about, since we're doing this question, if I ever have a log base of e that is equate to natural log, ln. Very, very important. So if I ever have log base e, then that's going to be equate to natural log. That's natural log. So now I want you to learn to evaluate. So, and you guys going to figure out log 2 of 16, log 7 of 1 over 49, log of 25, 5, and log of 2, and the 5th roots of 2. So I'm going to start with example. Those are the questions. So let's just say this is the example, and this is how I do it. So example, this is a very easy question. So every time I see log on ACT question, because log only exists on ACT, not in SAT. In ACT is actually cake. Anybody can do it. It's, people got scared when they see log. The problem is, the problem is people addicted to fear. I don't know. I was seeing like this person was interviewed Gary Vee. Do you guys know who Gary Vee is? YouTube influencer. He's always go to buy garage sale. He turned garage sale into like men's dollars, and he just has become an inspirational speaker. Gary Vee says people addicted to fears because they fear something. They feel something because they feel like if they feel something and they don't have to do it. The problem is you cannot addict it to fear. You have to just overcome it. You had to face. You had to confront to it. So the logarithm is nothing scary. Let's just say if I have 2 of 32 is equal to something. Okay, so I don't know what's the log base of 2 of 32. But we know that's equal to some type of number, right? We can say that's equal to x. Because we need to figure out what's the log 2 of 32. So what you can do is you're going to go change the logarithm from 2 to the x equal to 32. And then I need to change the common base for 2 to the x equal to 2 to the 5th. Because 2 to the 5th is 32. And then x is equal to 5. And that's how you find the value. So what I want you to do, I want you to find out all those 4 values. And I want you to compare with each other, see how they're doing. We're not doing anything difficult. We start something super easy. Anybody can do this. Ian? You awake?
Is that a 9?
What?
Is that a 9?
7. You have to know your exponent rule. That's why I say exponent rule is so important. This is simple test questions. Anybody got a first one? Raise your hand if you did. Julia? What'd you get? X is equal to 4. Excellent. Because 2 to the x is equal to 16 because we set it equal to x first. 2 to the x equal to 2 to the 4. X must equal to 4. And try to show me among the work because that way you know the logic to get it, even though some of you guys can do it in your head. Okay, how many of you guys got a second one? Raise your hand. Oh, everybody got a second one. Let me see. Jada.
X equal to 0.007.
Nope. But that's a nice try. Astrid? -2. Did anybody get -2? Oh, good. You guys doing great. But that's okay. Jada, here's how you do it. So if you have log base of 7 of 1 over 49, so it's going to be 7. No, sorry. This is the wrong way to write it. My fault. It's 1 over 49, right? So that's equal to x. So 7 to the x equal to 1 over 49. Now 7 to the x equal to 1 over 7 squared. 7 to the x equal to, use negative exponent rule. So this you change it to the common base. So 7 to the negative 2. So x is equal to negative 2. Good. Okay, so next two. Let me call on somebody. Sarah? No?
-5.
Emerson? Michael?
I got 2.
Got 2? Charlotte?
Is it 1/2?
Bennett? Asteroid?
1/2.
Okay, 1/2 is right. So remember, this is log of 25 of 5 is equal to x. So it's 25 to the x, draw a heart, is equal to 5. Change it to the same base. 5 to the second. And that's going to x equal to 5 to the 1. So are they both sides has a base of 5, so it'd be 2x equal to 1, x equal to 1/2. Good job. Okay, the last one. Armin? 1/5? Anybody else get different? So log 2, 5th root of 2 is equal to x. 2 to the x equal to 5th root of 2. 2 to the x equal to 2 to the what? 1/5. Armin, is that what you get? Okay, x equal to 1/5. And that's how you evaluate this. Very straightforward. Okay, we're gonna keep on going. So, simple question. What is log 7 of 7 and log 5 of 1? Very simple question. Think about it quickly without even using the thing. Without lip and pencil. Can you do it? 1 is the first one. What's the second one? 0. That means 5 to the which power is 1. That must be 0. Right? 5 to the which power is 1. So think about it. If that's equal to x, that means 5 to the x equal to 1. Guess what? The only time that you have something to the power of thing is going to be using 0 power rule, which is x is equal to 0. And that is very, very intuitive. Is that okay? Okay. Now I'm going to give you 2 more inverse property. So this is the inverse property. If you have log base of b, I use that with the pH scale. So this is b. If they have the same base and this is same, they are inverse to each other. They're gonna cancel out. That's just equal to x. Very useful technique. And if you have the same way the other one, b to the log base of b of x, that's always equal to x. Why? Because those two cancel out. Those two cancel out. They are inverse to each other. So this and this are inverse. And this are inverse. So they cancel out, just equal to x. Right? So very easy question. What is log 4 of 4 of 5? And what is 6 log exponent log 6 of 9? So very easy, you can see the answer. What will be the answer for the first one? Just 5, because those cancel out, right? And what's the second one? Oh, that's nice. Sorry, my ugly ass handwriting. Okay, got it. Now let's talk about graph or domain natural log. we already did know how to graph natural log. So let's say log and base natural log, they are the same graph. I'm going to say natural log graph. Natural log graph and log graph is almost the same. Almost the same. The graph is always like this. Now, instead of like E graph, which is you graphed the other day, natural log has a asymptote here and has anchor point here, and this is gonna be like this. Just those two things that you have to know. Okay, let's talk about domain and range of this graph. What would be the domain of this graph? It's 0 bracket or parentheses? Parentheses, 0 to infinity. Those of you guys don't know, just take a scanner. You scan it from left. You don't see any solution. You don't see solution at 0, but the only solution is start at like about 0.1 because that's when it start heading, because that's an asymptote. So it'd be 0 to infinity. Now, if you look at a range, it's going to scan this way. It's going to be negative infinity to infinity because this line's still going up. It's still going to go infinite high if you go to infinite. So even though it seems like stop at 1, but it's keep on going, keep on going, keep on getting higher and higher. So the range is going to be from negative infinity to infinity. That's the range. This is even or odd function. Well, this is a neither. Okay. Now I'm going to draw the same graph on the e to the x. This can be natural log graph or log graph. The only thing difference is the value is going to go up higher or lower. That doesn't really matter. But I'm going to graph e to the x graph as a red. So, and I'm going to graph on the same graph. You have to know both graph on next year. So the next graph is e to the x. So this is e to the x. This is log graph. So log or natural log for this. And for e to the x, it has an asymptote here. So it has asymptote at, I'm going to write down here, it has an asymptote at x equal to 0 is an asymptote. And this one has, it's a vertical actually. Vertical asymptote. Now e to the x is different. E to the x, what is the domain? What's e to the x domain? Negative infinity to infinity, good. What will be the range? But it's a parenthesis or bracket? Parenthesis, 0 to infinity, good. So this is also neither odd or even. It has an asymptote where? At what is equal to 0? Y is equal to 0. So it's a horizontal asymptote. And anchor point is at 0, 1. The anchor point of the other one is going to be where? 1, 0. So basically, those are the things that's doing transformation. Can you tell me what's the graph n of x minus 2 plus 1 look like? Yeah, but what is everything? The anchor point and also vertical asymptote or horizontal asymptote, you gotta tell me. Where the asymptote located at? What will be the domain of range in this function? And I can even put this in the piecewise function graph if I really wanted to. Which is today I'm already gonna give you piecewise because you guys all know how much I love piecewise. I love graphing. But most of you guys hate graph. Well, I know certain individual here hate graph. But that's okay. Stop addicting to fear. And can you not only graph it, tell me what the domain and range? Learning how to judge your domain and range, because you got to be able to do that. Neo, can you tell me where the vertical asymptote at this function? Nope. Good try. Jesus? -2? Nope. Liam? 2. Good. Pay attention. This move right 2. What is move right 2? Originally, natural log is right here, right? It's at x equal to 0, but it's moving right 2. So it's going to go from here to here. It start at here, but it's moving right 2. That's okay. Now, that is vertical asymptote 2 is right 2. Your anchor point start at here before, but it's moving right 2 and up 1. So it's going to be like this. So your graph is going to be like this. And what would be the domain? Who said? 2 to infinity, good. Will be a range. Yep, and that's how you graph natural log of x minus 2 plus 1. Is this hard? Yes.
This specific point that
Only in this point you have to worry about? Not any other point. The other point, as long as you graph a general sketch, I'm okay with that. Is that okay? Yeah.
Why is x-intercept at 3 instead of 2?
X-intercept is not at 3. X-intercept is somewhere between 2 to 3. It's somewhere here. I don't know where that is. You need a calculator to figure it. Okay, so you guys know how to graph natural log, right? All right. How much time I have? Oh, darn. Yeah, I can still going. Oh, well. Let's going. What? All right, so let's talk about properties. So there is a property. There's 3 property I mentioned before. I use different notation, but this time I'm going to use the m times n equal to log base m plus log base of n. Now you're going to be like, does this make sense? Well, let's try it. So let's just say if I have log 2 of 4, right, plus log 2 of, I don't know, 32. Do I want 32? Yeah, let's do 32. Why not? Okay. And let's just experiment this. See if this is true. Log 2 of 4 is what? This is equal to what? 2. Can somebody answer that? Astrid? Okay. What's log 2 of 32? 5. What's 2 plus 5? 7. So that's equal to 7, right? What's 32 times 4? No, what's 32 times 4? Or 32 times 4? 128? Okay. So that just say, assume this is true, right? Assume this is true. Then it should be log b of what? 4 times 32, right? So what's log b of, or log 2, sorry, log 2 of 128? What's log 2 of 128? 7. This is also equal to 7. We just proved that this is true. Log base b of m times n is equal to log b m plus log b n. Okay. See you guys next time. Jesus. You say you come to ask after school. You break my heart.
I mean, I understand it on Monday.
But you need to understand your old stuff.
Take my book. I'm gonna go take it.
I didn't have time to show.
You can finish it now already. You pass. I cannot let you go over it because other people don't have that chance. You sure?
It's not like I can miss. I'm like failing that class.
What? Which class is that?
AP bio. I mean, I'm not failing. I have B and I don't like it.
AP Bio.
I hate that.
Miss Davis.
Huh?
Davis? He's a interesting man. You better go because if he see my pass, he's gonna barf.
I know. They all hate on you for no reason. Bye.
Bye. Sydney has PTSD.
What? PTSD?
Oh, not PTSD.
ADHD?
Obsessive compulsive disorder.
OCD.
OCD.
I just like it when things are neat. And not constantly the random things. There's not even a place for the test.
I know.
Okay, it's going over here.
Again, I had all the homework I could, but it was too late.
That's weak.
I got home at 11:30.
Why?
Most of the time. I'll make a party with all the like VIPs of Universal. So, I feel like you would hit your children.
No, Sydney will be a good mom.
Good parents beat their kids.
True.
I
No,
would not do that.
not necessarily true. Depending on what kind of beating. Like you beating without reason, no.
You get 85?
Ready?
I do spins.
Nice.
I don't know. I want your person on the desk.
That's algebra. What is it?
No, I saw.
Good. Good. That was really weird. I can box it.
He got out of his seat.
How are you? Dog?
You got a Starbucks. Like me. It's too early in the morning. I was running 2 hours sleep yesterday. Ria, did you show your parents I said dumbass on your paper? I'll get canceled, right?
No, both of us would get
But he's gonna see the reason why I call you dumbass.
No, I know, but like,
Friends, family, beloved money.
All right, so this period I didn't go over something, so I'll just go over it once more. So make sure you understand it. So I'm gonna go over one of the more difficult questions. So here. And you guys can also try it as well. Now, only thing I will require you to do, please change bound. Please change bound. If you change bound and don't change back, change your bound and don't change back. Because change your back, sometimes you sub the wrong value. To change your bound, use the U world. Please use the word U world because that's how AP exam is going to written in that way. And you have to recognize just our change boundary is going to eliminate all the choices for you. Then that's something I will do. Okay, so let's go through a questions here. Let's just say if I have this particular question. If I go to 1 to 5, I believe there's some question very similar to this for yesterday's homework. This is a little bit more difficult one. Okay, what U equal to? Why? Is what? Brandon, what'd you say?
Oh, it's backflip.
Why is that?
Both x's are the same power.
Same power, good. It's 2x minus 1. Du equal to 2 dx. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And that's square root of u. And dx is du over 2. And then x. Obviously, the problem is the x, because this is going to change into du over 2 equal to dx. So far, any questions? No. Okay. Well, let's change the x. So this one is required back sub. So, and then you say u equal to 2x minus 1. U plus 1 equal to 2x. U plus 1 over 2 equal to x. Is that okay? So that is going to be u plus 1 over 2 square root u times du over 2 integration. So far, any questions? Anything I can take it out?
1/4.
1/4. Good job. Integration of u plus 1 over square root u between where and where. Now, this is the part that you have to take a notes. This only thing that's different. You have to change the boundary. Why? Because next year, you're going to have the boundary in terms of datas. And you have to convert to u. And you have to convert to x. That's what I sent you a paper, what Emil is doing. all this work and you had to be neat. You have to be neat. You look at Emil's handwriting, he made mistake there. I'm not saying he didn't make a mistake, but he made mistake, but it's really easy to track. He posts on a group chat, he's like, hey, can anybody find mistake? Everybody's like, boom, there's a mistake. But if you write like shit, it's really hard to find the mistakes. Okay, please learn how to get good handwriting. So now this is the one you're gonna plug in. So it'll be 2 times 1 minus 1 is what? Oh, 5. So 5 times 2 minus 1 is what? 9. And 5 times 1 minus 1 is what?
Wait,
4.
Wait, what?
No, two times one.
wait, one. Wait, what?
Oh, 2 times the other way. 2 times 5. And this one is 2 times 1, right? Is equal to 1. Okay? So now it's gonna be 1 to 9. Now, how do I take integral of this? You have to learn whatever you learned before. Splitting. 1 to 9. This one's gonna be u to the 1/2 plus u to the negative 1/2 du. Are you following me so far? U to the what? 3 over 2. 2 over 3, right? Plus what? U to the what?
2 1/2.
1/2, 2, good. And this is a 1/4 times from 9 to 1. Any questions here so far? No. Now I'm just gonna do it 1/4. I'm plug in 9 to the 3 over 2 plus 2 to the 9 to the 1/2. And this whole thing minus 2 over 3 plus 2. Is that okay? Yeah?
Whenever we have like an outside, like something we took out, do we do f of b minus f of a and then multiply, or we multiply with f of b then minus multiply with f of a?
Oh, I keep it 1/4 outside.
Okay.
I multiply at n because I think that's easier operation than distributing it. That's too much complications. Because what if I can always like see the inside first and then I'll work out outside. Because outside multiplication is very easy. Rather than multiply each term, that's too much work. So what is 2/3 times 9 to the what? 9 to the 3 over 2 is what?
54 over 3.
Which is what? 27. Good. Plus 2 to the what?
3.
3. Minus 2 over 3. Actually, minus 2 over 3. Minus 2, right? So this one is going to give you 9. So 18. 18 plus what? So it's 24. 24 minus 2 over 3 to the 1/4. So it'll be 1/4 of 22 minus 2 over 3. Well, that's 66 over 3, right? Minus 2 over 3. That's what? 64 over 3 times 1 over 4.
64 over 12.
Well, I can simplify here. That's what? 16? 16 over 3. Now look at the work of this question. It's a lot. If one part you screw up on test. And if you cannot be disciplined, you cannot follow through. You have to be disciplined on your calculation, your preciseness, your fraction skills need to be on par every single moment. You have to be very mindful on each steps. Questions? All right, go with homework. Whatever question you guys have. Now, please change the boundary. Use the U-bound. And make sure you do it in terms of u. Do not come back to x. Because you use U bound, convert back to X, you actually cancel out and actually you get the wrong answer. Just do it in terms of U. And for trig sub, next year you're gonna do it in terms of data because everything is in terms of data already. Yes, go. All right, homework questions. Go to the board, help each other out. The answer is posted. Only the even not the answer. Okay, guys. Even when answer is not posted, you can post on the decimals. Just do a parenthesis outside the outer function before you put a dx. Then will come out exact answer at the back.
Actually, I'm gonna have to go. I was like, this is not feel right.
No, this is number normal.
I got all this.
The 7. I did that, and then you can find which one you come in the denominator. I was doing it, I'm like, I don't want to do it.
I was like, I'm not doing this. I probably had it.
Yeah.
He said, Kevin, you did this wrong. He's like, oh,
You gotta do 2 to the 7th off.
Oh yeah, this is one you can do stuff like which one do you?
I'm proud of you, Kevin.
Oh, no. You're already doing, 8.
Alright, so I'm sure do you guys
Your answer?
What are your boundaries?
Check your answer on that one.
Okay.
You can actually use the decimals. Integral, upper bound, lower bound, put a parenthesis of the function.
I know you know what you're doing.
Why are you doing homework at 1 a.m., Billy?
Brian said.
What? What? You put my class in the last priority.
It's writing down.
You, Billy.
I think it's 6,000. I don't even know you did down here.
Yeah, so here's number 2F.
No, one half.
Well, look at the use of,
One over two.
How much you get stuff?
Because we cancel out the switch is 1 over 2.
Okay.
Just keep on
but the thing wasn't too hard.
The DU over
What
2.
was the question?
Yeah,
no.
Okay, you guys, I need a donation of markers. You guys chew through this. And Nathan not allowed to touch my marker.
No, I said I was doing it.
Because you break my shit. You leave my apple. All kind of shit to my marker.
No, Mr. You know what happened? I looked
My marker feels violated.
You had
Every
zero.
time you use it,
And I realized I took 2. I took 2 actions. My tip is. Wait, I was like, so you get 1 over.
You guys are fun.
Hi.
Thank you.
Where does the minus 1 come from?
So if I do do.
But yeah, I know it's cool. You like this? That was fun. For me,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah. That was only fun. Like, excuse me, bro.
Alright, I'm going to do the integral.
Oh.
Yeah,
Check out your answers. Gotta check.
What question you like?
We should do it.
make sure that.
It is simple.
So, all those 2.
Okay.
And then I don't let that back in.
So let's do -1.
Right, and then we just finish it. Like you're not.
You want everything redo it? I mean, let me redo it with marker. Did I get my hand? Is it one I can ask you?
Oh, that was.
Oh,
That's the weird one. Yeah, I got
Hey, right, this is one.
What's the
Yes. You just have to say you, I'm taking the egg. And then you'll watch it. And so, you're gonna do X, so you're gonna be you. So then you're gonna be you. Right? Because half of
And Jane, how many wants?
negative.
My bad, my bad, my bad. What are you guys? I'm taking race. Alright.
Okay. What are you doing? No, you don't understand. Okay? I worked like 4 days the past 2 weeks. I don't know why. I don't know if it's I got $400. I'm like rich. I feel so different, man. Oh yeah, what do I get?
$400.
To me it is.
$400 is like Sean's like 2 days worth of You just get out of privilege.
I get nothing. Hey, Mr. J, is this better work? That's or more organized, right? 59. GA. Is more organized?
If it is I'm looking for
You already changed. Let me go to 2x. No attention. No attention. You changed the boundary.
Omar.
Maybe I just feel like the wrong thing.
No. Oh, the other, you're on the way.
That's why I said you're not gonna be.
And
You don't understand.
what is your chance? What is your
so you can talk to it. It's all like logging in chat GPT. It was so weird. You know that legit. Look at it. Oh, let me know. It's actually really cool. You text.
No, it's not. You can show me. I have that.
I like.
I got two different things.
I'll show you that one. But you can have a whole conversation. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You can take it.
I've never used it. Never cheated. Never cheated. Oh my.
So you just take out a cheat. You know when
Are
you
you
take
gonna
out
learn like
So yeah, technically after two.
This is what I did first time.
this? They just take it out.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
only
you got
8 and then you got ready.
Girl, be so real. It's always
Wait.
Is this right? Is this right?
That's how you got it? Attention? Procedure?
So it's that, then you just multiply 4 times this time.
Let me see what I think.
You see, you change your right?
Very, very impressed. I love your work, by the way. You just do some stupid mistakes, but you're very long and you're doing math.
That's like,
I guess I was wrong.
Okay, that work, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Did that work, right?
Oh, well, I think it was.
Or no, positive.
Oh, 27. Wait, what was the answer?
But yeah, oh, you gotta get your new, you gotta get your new back. We want to.
It is B12.
like,
I don't know.
So you just plug it over here.
Right?
Oh, hell no.
What?
And then you divide it.
Like, choose one eight.
Second power.
Tangent. I don't know.
So you do 2 times, what is it? You do 2 times 3, it's
Minus overall.
Yeah. I wish I did AB come last year. Yeah, I wasted last year.
Oh, when I was he was in geometry, not me.
Right, it was like almost there.
What was your outside power? Your outside should have been 2.
And the other one's mid.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So all those kids went down right now. And the third kid, she went in. I think if she would have studied that class, we might not be.
Is this right? So you plug in like
So it's the
funny is
but I want to spot the talent.
basically
What I'm talking about. No,
I know you have basically knew what the project
my first intuition,
was.
my second intuition is like, no, but yeah, that's one last thing.
I need like 2 years.
I really worked out.
Yeah. No, I'm saying I'm not. I have to no, because my smart. I'm just learning. Like without being no, Corey, what is it?
Oh my god, I just told you. Oh my god.
You know?
No, it's not. What is bridging ads?
You're the first man for. Alright, yeah.
Yeah, me.
Alright, Steve to
And to get.
Yes, you need to
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you should
If you want to see your time. Okay, because AV removes this.
Oh my god.
You're not allowed to laugh. I do the same shit all the time. How do you have iPad and still have notes in that thing, right? It gets better. It's the same.
More complicated. Have a lot more work.
You need to write myself
And
out.
then to you,
I got the same fucking. I didn't do it on the test.
Yeah.
Write stuff out. Dude, you know, doing more than that, where you're like on your head and doing it.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I keep on getting negative.
Alright, what's the
Because
right?
you-
Let me make it
you're
better.
negative close to it. Yeah.
If we 1/2 root x.
Yeah.
Bring it up. Oh wait, they're not expired. Oh, it's not all day. October of next year. That means they're made out of like wax or something. Here, you can hand them out. No, it's not trying to point at people. Yeah, they don't expire. Yeah, they're made out of wax.
I remember one of the mistakes now. I remember one of the mistakes. Now I was thinking about it. I remember I usually say this. I was like, how would I do this? And I was scoring with 25. I generally thought it was like,
One week, 5 by 12. Wait, no, 1 week, 5 by. One week, 5 by 9. It should be honest. Because you will actually get 4 9. No. I don't know what the 9 is. There's like 3. Yeah, no 3 anyway. Oh my god.
Can you take this 2 out? Over 1, that's 1 over 2.
I mean, you can do 2 over your
I should just separate for now. So
steps over the time multiply it.
And that's 2
It's like some size to the dot. Me too. It's actually like considering like, well, that's because you don't see all the videos.
1/2.
Yeah, once I go to pitching more, well,
Both of them
messed up. Yo, I'm on. That's so messed up. Well, back up is my thing. Oh, it's good.
No, I got.
You already have your phone. You could not break your back.
Okay, so what's you times you want
This will be.
No, and the tree, like, different like, you know how like they have extensions out that like, yeah, like that.
I think what I did here is I will see a lot.
There was this just way looking at it, what they were asking for donation.
So that's the equation. It wasn't that bad. You differential equation, you get a point, you space rate. So this is the derivative. So this is the original equation. So we're just integrating this using the U substitution. So
Oh, then you plug in your U.
plus 1 du equals.
That's why you put it.
So then you just yeah, something equal to du. So then you get there's no boundary for this.
Right.
You
What you can do is take out the one, do one report.
you got this, you right, so we're gonna do that's 3. 3 over 3. Yeah, u squared root 3 times 6. Take the integral, you get So this is the original equation, right? Yeah. So right here we have so this is going to equal y equals a, right? So since we look at that, y equals so then just we have here so the equation is going to be y. Oh no, you need to plug in. I forgot to plug in x for you. I forgot to put it back in. So y equals 3.
How do you get that?
3
Come on, Luke.
plus c. So don't forget that. So now we have 0. Now we have 4
I thought like, oh, power 3.
3 so it'll just be 1 so 3 over 3. 4
I just realized what you said.
Oh, it's not 62. What?
I was thinking.
1
you
equals
just have
3. 3
three.
equals c. So then the final equation equals 3.
No, you're good, you're good. Just now plug in the numbers into this.
3.
Alright, have a seat.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I made
All right, so what we're gonna do is you guys gonna go back and re-practice those U substitution if you're still weak in. There are questions that you had to find the value of C. I didn't see anybody's doing that, but yeah, there were some question that you had to find the value of C. For example, I don't know which question is it. I don't have that textbook. I don't have that textbook in front of me, so 63 and 64, you have to find the value of C, and the answer is on the thing. So make sure you go back and figure out how to do it. But other than that, we are gonna go forward to talk about approximation. Now, usually I'm supposed to talk this section first because that's where you know the area underneath. So approximation, there are 4 different kinds. You might want to write it down. 4 different kinds. One is right in Riemann sum, and one is left Riemann sum. Right, left, and there's a midpoint rule, and there's a trapezoid rule. So there are 4 things that you have to know, and that's very frequent on AP exam. It's on every single AP exam. It's not anything different. So I'm gonna start with a function. Let's just say if I have y is equal to, I don't know, 4 to the x, and let's just say between 0 to 2, and I want a 4 equal interval, 4 equal intervals. Okay, from 0 to 2, if I have 4 equal interval, what's each? How big is each intervals? 1/2, right? It's gonna divide it by 4, so it's equal to 2 divided by 4 is 1/2. Is that okay? So basically, you have to construct a table from that. You have to say x and y, well, they are 5 value. Why they are 5 value? Well, because you could have used right end or left end. So therefore, I'm going to start with a 0, 1/2, 1, 3/2, and 2. And we're able to evaluate each value. What's 4 to the 0 power? What's 4 to the 1/2 power? What's 4 to the 1 power? What's 4 to the 3/2 power? What's 4 to the 2 power? 16. I'm going to draw it for you. And that way you have to understand that in terms of drawing, that's what you have to do. So let's just say this is a 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. And each one is 2. So at 0, it's going to be 1/2 right here. At the half, it's going to be 2, which is right here. Oops. That's, I don't need a 3, 4. Okay, so at 1 is going to be 4. So right here. At 3/2 is 8. So it's right here and right here. Does that make sense? I have all those points. So this point I label 16, 8, 4, 2, and 1. Why do I label them? Because it makes me easy to tell the height. So if I want a 4 equal right Riemann sum, you got to understand the drawing first. The drawing is going to look like something like this. If you understand the drawing and calculation, is so easy. So what do you think? Is this over approximation or under approximation? Let's bet. Who wanna bet? Over or under? You're gonna bet.
Dude, think about the, please think about the graph.
Oh, it's over. It's over.
Oh, it's over. Oh,
Over.
Okay, okay. Over. Yeah, you're right. It's over.
How it's gonna make Nathan lose money because he had $400 to lose.
I just saw the point.
So the point's gonna look like this. Oops. The point is gonna look like something like this, right? This is the actual approximation. Now it's gonna be over. Now I will say the reason why it's over is because the function is increasing. If I use right Riemann sum, it's gonna be over approximation because I use right. Does that make sense? Because right one, the function's right, the most right one is the highest value, so you're gonna have over explanation. So the right and left end is really depends, over or under approximation is depends on are they function increasing or decreasing? Because the decreasing, if you use right end, it's going to be under approximation. Very, very important justification for AP exam. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Yes, look. That's what I'm going to do. Chill. Jeez. Like, no patience. All right. So I'm going to use triangle for right. So triangle, I'm going to use right. So the triangle is the right approximation.
Wait, this one the right approximation, the one that we just did?
Yeah, and I'm gonna do the drawing right now. So I'm gonna use this value, this value, this value, and this value. I don't use the one because I don't use the one to draw the rectangle. So the first one is gonna be the first. I'm gonna start from the right. It's gonna be half because that's the width times the height is 16. Does that make sense? Plus half times what? 8 plus half times 4 plus 1/2 times 2. Now I did not use 1. Why? Because we're not using the left end approximation, we use the right end. The right end start with here, and start with here, start with here, and start with here. It's over approximation. Also, sometimes you can do this. 1/2 to 16 plus 8 since they all this. Which is 16 plus 8 is 24. 24 plus 4 is what? 30. And it's 15. So 30 divided by 2, that's equal to 15. That's right hand approximation. Got it? And that's 4 subintervals. Yes.
So why do you multiply by?
I just take out 1/2. I factor out 1/2 and just add all the term inside. You can do it each individually. You can be add 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1. 1/2 is the width of each rectangle. So from here to here is 1/2. Yes.
You always omit the last value?
Because I use right and approximation.
If you use left, it'd be like the half one.
Okay, now I'm gonna use left. Left is gonna be a circle. And this is the left end. This is left Riemann sum. And this is the Riemann sum. Okay, left. Can you do left for me? It'll be 1/2. Well, I'm gonna base on this. I'm gonna draw a triangle. I'm gonna draw this. This is left. I'm gonna use blue. Blue here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna do here. Oh, Teresa's not here. So this one's under approximation because the function is increasing, and that's why it's under approximation because your leftmost value is the lowest value. So it really depends on the over or under. So in this case, all we gotta do is start from the left, which is half. What is the first value? 1, right? Plus 1/2. 2, right? Plus 1/2, 4. Plus 1/2, 8. Right? So it's going to be 1/2 times 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8, which is equal to 1/2 to 3, 15, so it's 15 over 2. So 15 over 2 is 7.5. It's very under approximation. The other one's way over, this one's way underneath. And this is a 4 equal sub-interval. And this is a 4 equal sub-interval. Now this is right end and left end. Got it?
You add it divided by 2, get the normal one.
Ooh, you are on track of something. You're on track of this. A shortcut for math computation. It's actually called trapezoid rule, but we're gonna talk about it. Right now, we're not gonna say, "Hey, I'm gonna use a midpoint rule." But not only that, I'm not gonna use 4 sub-interval. I'm just gonna use 2. What is a midpoint rule? So what is a midpoint rule? Midpoint rule. So we're gonna use midpoint with 2 equal interval. So I'm gonna copy exact same graph here. I'm gonna copy. I'm gonna paste here. Okay, and I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna erase a lot of things. I'm gonna erase all those things that's not necessary there. I'm gonna erase all those things not necessary there. Erase, 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 erase. Okay, so midpoint rule with 2 equal interval. How wide is each intervals? 1. Good. But we're gonna use middle of 2 points, right? So we're gonna use square in this case. I'm gonna use square. I'm gonna use different color. I don't know which color I haven't used yet. I'm gonna use brown, and I'm gonna use equal interval. So I'm gonna use this one and this one. Why? Because I'm gonna use this too. Let me use this. Do you see that? So there was over and some unders. Imagine this area here. This can fit in here. This area can fit in here. Would it be better approximation if I use mid? I don't have to use as much of things. Does that make sense?
Okay. Why are we approximating? Can we just find an interval?
You can. But mathematician, that's why I should teach this section first.
It's like building up to intervals.
Yeah, this is how they build up to integrals.
Oh, so that's why the Riemann stuff is like the summation of infinity.
Yes, just break up the infinite amount of rectangles or infinite amount of trapezoids. But I should teach you this section first, but I don't like the flow of that. So I changed it a little bit, but Anthony says, I think you should have teach this one first, because last year I teach this one first. I kind of experiment which one's better. I don't know which one's better because I want to try to get all the integral down and the approximation at the end, because approximation happened a lot on AP exam. And I want to be the last one to memory of this. Integral everybody can do because you got a lot of repetitions. Approximation, so I decided to change the order, especially the break. And this is the first time I can finish all the U substitution before the break. And we actually, next Monday and Tuesday, we're going to go to a kinematic. So that's good. Okay, so I can just do 2 now. So each width is what? It's 1/2 of 1. It's 1, right? This here is 1, right? So here to here is 1. Here to here is 1. So be 1 times the height of that is, according to this point, is 2. So that's why I draw the number over there. It help you. Plus 1 times, what's the next number? 8. So that's equal to 10, which is 7.5. And the other one's 15. And you got 10. Yeah, that's good. But, you know, it's not like, you know, not perfect, but it's good enough.
We always divide by 4 for right hand and left hand.
What?
We always divide by 4 for right end and left hand.
Right end and left hand?
Like, you know how we divide?
Oh yeah, so it's depending on how many interval, how many equal interval. You have 4 equal interval or 2 equal interval. If a 4 equal interval, then it's gonna be the W. That's gonna be B minus A over N. So N is the number of rectangle. So B minus A is 2 minus 0 over 2. So that's equal to 1. So that's how you know each width is.
Are they gonna give us that?
I will tell you. I will tell you how many are they.
Okay. Alright, then.
Okay, next one. Trapezoid rule. Now I'm gonna try to be as efficient as this one, so I'm gonna draw it out. I'm gonna copy. I'm gonna paste this. So instead of do this, I'm gonna do trapezoid rule. And I'm gonna do 4. Trapezoid rule is the best because it's the closest approximation that you can be. So I'm gonna do 4 equal interval. And this is a trapezoid rule. Okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw it. And we're gonna draw as much as we can. This is his first trapezoid. This is second trapezoid. This third trapezoid. Do you see that there's a lot less impositions because it goes straight from one point to the other point. So then you say, okay, trapezoid rule. Trapezoid, how do you find the area of trapezoid? 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. So it's going to be 1/2. The base 1 is what? 1 plus 2, right? Like this 1, this 2, right? Times the height is 1/2, right? Height is this way from here to here. Plus 1/2. 2 plus 4 times 1/2. Plus 1/2. 4 plus 8 times 1/2. Plus what? 1/2. 16 plus 8. 1/2. So basically it's 1/4 times 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus 4 plus 8 plus 8. This one should be 8 and 16. Plus 16. And that's it. So 1/4. 1 plus 2 plus 2 is what? This is 5. This is 8. This is 8. And this is 16. So it'll be what?
16 plus 16? It'd be 45.
45? And it'll be 45 over 4, which is what?
11 and 1/4.
Can we just, is the most important trapezoid? Can we get to the trapezoid?
They're all important.
Oh.
Now, I will tell you sometimes you are going to get an equal interval. Okay? And I'll probably go over one example on an equal interval on the stream, but it's fine. Just to have a different width. It's multiplied instead of 1/2, it's different each time.
Ironically, actually, I have no, I don't. It's just obedience, like how it causes social justice.
I'm good on the homework.
No way. Well, like basically, like not like fully, but like they have
No way. Is that how down bad they got?
so I was like, I think that like they can't be that. I expected that.
Yeah. What's
And that's right. What are you just? But like they got like the camera like cuts it off. Oh,
that's really bad. Like, how can people be that down?
then what's the one like?
Oh,
It's not even soft.
No. We're all he's just like,
you're working for them.
There's why are you trying to make something that's already okay? You have designated places.
That's really sad. That's like stupid.
Everyone's going crazy.
There's no way this.
There's no
Yeah, like, here's where we stop blowing up. You all know maybe 30 county cover.
process how this can go through like the high levels. It's already like people are already doing it.
yeah, he was like, I freaked with good guy.
You've been on like on the homework now. Let's get to work. And if they keep going, what?
That's
obviously like what's the meaning?
How are you? The homework was nice. Wait, was the first question the one that they
Because when you do the
oh, when you put it here,
it's
oh, well, my
So,
back up the negative one.
Hey, no, I'm not seeing a lot.
Actually, no. You should ask me. You wouldn't ask if you couldn't tell us. Negative one times value is 3. Oh, it's just wild. So you have more of a- but I know I haven't said to like my friend. Oh, you did it twice? No way. Everything 65. Oh, the 65 would be bad one.
Yeah, that's cool.
Bro,
I got 1, 2, 9.
I'm pretty sure I multiplied and subtracted everything else. This is where I saw it. Just know I was like, oh, just got caught.
I just looked into it.
Alright, let's go back to math.
Bro, the back substitution is multiplying. I wasn't really sure what it was.
I over 12, I over 4, C.
Well, what you do.
All the trick ones. There's only 2 nights.
Yeah, what are the most?
I'm blind top about 68. I think I got it though.
No, but let's
Alright, so
Back up.
you guys, I need to make sure do not convert to X. Again, X. Even though you get the right answer, that if you go into the X row, then that's how not AP exam is gonna write it. I'll show you example how AP exam is writing the question. So use the U row, which is use the boundaries U, and I see Brady's paper using X and an N. Do not practice kid using X, because when you next year when we're doing trig substitutions, then if you can do in data, you're gonna do in data. It's a whole lot easier. I promise you, it's a whole lot easier. It's not gonna be said you're not gonna do it, but that's how AP is gonna write a question like that. You gotta learn how to use the U bound. You have to learn how to use U bound. I can go out 10 different questions. All you're gonna do is recognize boundary change. You can already eliminate half the answers. And the answer that doesn't have a boundary change is completely wrong. So you have to learn how to use the U bound. So we just convert everything to U and interpret U. Don't convert back to X. Do not convert back to X. Second thing, I need you to check your answer on decimals. You can put parentheses add the function, and you put a dx. You should be able to give you exact value of things. So check your answer on an even problem, even though I didn't give you the answers. Okay. So let's get to work. We're gonna spend like 10 or 15 minutes working out all the questions, and then we're gonna go into approximations.
So you told us like when it goes to maximum rules, like when degrees in both the terms are equal and then when outside is greater than inside. But that's not always true.
That's always true. Which question is not true? Tell me. I'm sure.
Oh, that was when I had no idea how to do that. For 61, I didn't use that.
61?
So I'm assuming.
They are not the same degree though. They are 1 degree less.
Yeah.
No, outside is not greater. Outside is less than inside. It's 1 degree less than inside. 61. You got x to the 1/2 and x to the -1/2. The one less degree.
Oh, like not do it.
Yeah, you have to say it's, because if you do derivative of x to the 1/2, it's gonna be 1/2 x to the -1/2. So that's right. because you got x to the 1/2. It's 1 degree less. If you subtract 1 from 1/2, it's gonna be negative half.
Your U right here, right? You find your U.
Can I also just think
Plug
about
in
it,
your
like,
balance
if
into
there's no
U,
way to
and
cancel
you
out
get
x,
your
I just
grade.
think
You can do
I
that.
feel like
That's fine because I'm just give you a general
You shouldn't.
ideas, but it's not always, not entirely. It's always like that because sometimes in Calc 2 you have to use like long divisions
You have to change it.
rather than this because sometimes you got multiple term on the top. You actually have to use long division, and you have to use different tactics to solve the problem. It's not all the time it's the same way.
I got a pretty easy
The original balance is, yeah, 2, 2, 1, because I plugged in, 0 and 1 into
example.
U.
You make a
However that is.
you see how here my u is x plus 1 and my two bounds are 1 and negative 1. So when I plug in 1 into this equation as x, then I get 1 plus 1 which is 2.
That's why you get 2, 1, not just adding.
No, plug it into your plug in your original math.
So like 55.
Is that the first one?
Actually, no, 56.
So you're
The U bound with 3 and 1.
Yeah. Then I'll just ignore your old 1 and 0 and just use the 3 and 1.
And then you would do 3 to the power of 3.
That'll work.
Yeah, it would be 1 times 1 over 8 times U. Power of 3.
Yeah,
I got 6.
yeah.
He was,
You would get 26 over 24.
the Raj
Oh,
did the
no,
same
it's
thing last year.
Oh, so just keeping it at
It was like a fun day.
It's not completely wrong. You're gonna get the same answer. And that's not how AP exams read it. So let me show you guys how the question will look like on AP exam.
Social progress.
I had no idea.
That's crazy. Social progress.
You bound is
You got this
You bound.
Yeah, we definitely.
Like he's a different
He
BPA.
knows all the options, but he is more efficient.
It's like a law, I guess.
There's some you get.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes like I need the units just to see if I'm right.
Right? Okay, okay.
No, okay. I know. Then you Anthro's like 85,000.
This,
Oh,
1, 2, 1, 9 over
yeah.
yeah, I think I think I made work.
That one took me also. But your head down is so big. It's crazy.
And then I just like.
Because at the end, this is when you have to simplify. At the end.
I never know how to do
Did you back so?
Yeah, it's back.
What's it back?
I was like,
It's both 3 degrees.
How do you know
and
what
same.
It's one the big reason.
Or the outside degree is bigger than the inside degree.
Oh, if I back it to 2. What do you mean? It's like, for example, there was a question. Like, yeah. Yeah. Like, for example, yeah, right?
because I was getting like 300 and
That's a
like
degree of difference.
decimal. Yeah, I was getting, like,
Whenever you difference by more than 1, or they're both equal, you
how am I
do it.
supposed to get a 2? Yeah.
When it's
All right.
difference, then
If it's an x
So let's look at a question on the board. This is a question on the board. This is why how AP exam were written in a way that you have to change the boundary because they don't even ask you to take integral. They just look like this. So let's try it. See if you guys can get the right answer. They just ask you to write. Get the glasses.
Contacts us, can't read that.
That's the best I can do.
I can get your monitor. About like my seat.
Anybody write on it? My monitor?
No.
It's kind of smirched on this on the right
It
side.
looks like someone like erased something.
Oh,
I think someone did.
probably.
Yeah, it's smirched on the right side.
Someone probably broke.
Oops.
Oh yeah.
What just happened?
It's you picking square. Yeah, why is it
What just happened?
I put it down. No.
What was her text?
Yeah,
Oh no.
Yeah, you read it with you.
There you go.
No, because I think they wanted you to find it like this.
Jared, this is why you have to do it in term of you.
Yeah.
Because you always prefer coming back to X. Even you doing the same answer. But why you have to
It just depends on what's more complex.
yeah, but they're gonna write a question where it's always gonna be like in term of you, especially multiple choice. They didn't want you to take integral. They don't want you to take integral. They just can you rewrite this integral?
You're just like manipulating. I mean, like you can cancel.
Solving with X.
They did not want you to take integral. They just want you to convert everything to you. That's it. They did not want you to take integral. Because you don't know how to take integral of this unless you know how to do some other tricks.
It's overcomplicated. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be balanced.
The root of X minus 1. Even
D?
No.
It's definitely not D. It's for sure not D. I only need to spend 1 second to tell you it's not D.
Yeah.
Why it's not D? The bounds.
Oh yeah, 'cause
It tests you two concepts here. One, do you know how to switch your boundary? Second, do you know how to do backsub? And that's it. That's the only things that they test on. Do you see the backsub? Because the outside, inside the same degree. It was reversed.
Maybe.
oh. U plus 1 squared is equal to U squared.
So that's how they will write the question. So you have to learn how to change your boundary and stick with the U bound and just integrate with the U bound. And trust me, that will work out to be better for you. And especially on this question, it's written that way. So U equal to square root X minus 1. This is my upper bound and lower bound. So it'll be square root of 5 minus 1 is equal to 2. Square root of 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. So integration from 1 to 2. A and D is automatically out. Right? So the bottom is, the top is U, but the bottom is going to be back sub. So be U squared equal to X minus 1. And that's going to be U squared plus 1. And DU between 1 to 2. And the choice will be B. Oh, no, not B. Hold on. U squared plus 1. U. And between 1 to 2. So where's that? Wait, how come I don't have the option? U squared plus 1. And then the top part is U. Oh, I gotta do du as well. Sorry. U equal to So u squared equal to, whoop. My bad. What happened? Quick time? Okay. So now u squared equal to, because I cannot convert this to u yet. So this one's what? You had to take a derivative here. It will be 2u du, right? Equal to dx. So that is equal to 2u du. So the integration 1 to 2, 2u squared over u squared plus 1 du. Very interesting question, right? It's not only you had to change the boundary, you had to change the dx to du, and you had to change everything in terms of u. So it has 3 elements in there.
So why couldn't we just find our du the normal?
Because there's going to be a chain rule. And that's going to be more uglier.
That's why you use your back substitution.
Mm-hmm. That's why I find a du from here rather than on the top. And this is how the AP exam will write it. So they didn't ask you to find anything. So they just, hey, if you know how to convert everything into u. So you gotta learn how to integrate the u world. Okay. And that's why it's thing. Okay, so any homework question you want me to go over? What does 65 says?
Integration from 0 to 7. X times the cube root of x plus 1.
Hold on. Integration from where to where?
0 to 7.
Uh-huh.
X times the cube root of x plus 1 dx.
X plus 1 cube root
Yeah.
dx. Like this? So this one's an ugly fraction one? It is?
Oh yeah.
Oh. Do I have to do this? Is it, am I copying the question right? Okay, du equal to dx. So this is u to the 1/3 du. Now the x is what? X is equal to u minus 1. So it'll be u minus 1 du. And the boundary is gonna switch. So that's gonna be 8 and what? 1. So 8 and 1. So u to the 4/3 minus u to the 1/3 du from the 1 to 8. So u to the 7/3 3 7 minus u to the 4 3 3 4 between 8 and 1. 3 7 8 to the 7 3 minus 3 4 8 to the 4 3. Tell me if I did it wrong. Am I doing okay so far?
Yeah.
3 7 minus 3 fourths, right? 2 to the 7 is 128, right? 128 times 3 is, I have no idea. 123? What is it? What? What is it? 3 what? 384?
Yeah, 3 to 4 or 7.
And this one is 4 over what? 4 over what? Two to the 4 is 16. 16 times 3 is 48. Is that right?
Yeah, that appears to be.
Is that okay? Okay, so for me, I figure out a trick is I can subtract them. So because the same denominator, so it'll be 381 over 7. Does that make sense? And this one is gonna be minus what? No, it's 45 over 1, right?
Well, but it's negative. 8 to the 7 over 3. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you have.
It's negative, and then you also.
Yeah, but negative 48 over 4 plus 3 over 4 is 43.
Minus
Oh,
negative.
no.
So this is a plus, right? This is a plus. 3 over 4.
Yeah, but it's this. This is this, and then also this times this.
Yeah, negative.
But then because
This one is 5, 35, 31. Shit, that doesn't work. Okay, I'm gonna multiply this by 4 over 4. This is 7 over 7. I have no idea. So it'll be 28 over 4 times 3 times 4 times 381 is what?
4 times 380 is
What's the chance to show them the test?
1,500.
Please don't put it in the
Good. 45 times 7, 315. And so 1524 minus 315 is 1209 over 28. I mean, I won't give you something that big a number. I mean, something smaller is realistic.
Seems like the
because it's fine.
I'm fucking.
And then do it.
When both of them are either equal or they're different by
Okay, next question. I like this question Kevin was asking. Kevin asked online yesterday. The funny story is his dad doesn't believe in him. Like, imagine your parents doesn't believe in you. That's true Asian parents right there.
No, just ignore that.
Like, white parents doesn't do that. Right, Tyler?
My dad's got something the other app. It's a different type of so this one also.
Mom only knows to play math.
Yes.
All right, so I forgot what the question was. 1 over square root 1 plus square root x squared, right? Or 1 minus square root x squared? Is that a 1? Did I copy down the question right?
Yeah, no, I mean,
Did I copy down this question right?
is this the Kevin?
Yeah.
dude, I was reading.
Yeah.
What boundary?
1 to 9.
1 to 9. Did you guys get 1/2?
Yeah, I got 1.
But not using.
Which social is this?
60.
You're supposed to use your substitution.
Yeah, I didn't know, so my whole homework was off.
Okay, u equal to 1 plus square root of x dx. Now, if you realize that this is 1 degree less outside, if you think about it, right? This one's u equal to 1 plus x to the 1/2 dx, not dx. And then this one du is equal to 1/2 x to the negative 1/2, which is x to the negative 1/2 is 1 over square root of x, which is same thing as that. So dx. So therefore, this one's gonna be 2. If I multiply 2 on both sides, and if I change to the other side, it's gonna be square root x du equal to dx. So hopefully you have this right now. So that's gonna be 1 over u squared, square root x, and this is 2 square root x du. This part is gonna cancel out equally. So it'll be 2 integration of 1 over u squared du. Now change the boundaries. Change the boundaries. So it's gonna be 9, 4, this is 2. So 2 and 4. So 2 times integration of u to the negative 2 is u to the negative 1 over negative 1. So it'll be negative 1 over u from 4 to 2. So it'll be, I'm going to take out the negative sign, so it'll be negative 2. So it'll be 1 over 4 minus 1/2. So negative 2 times negative 1/4 So that's y positive 1/2. The answer is 1/2. I think 61.
Wait, how does it? Where is the? Oh, is it negative?
No, at a negative sign, I factor out to -2, and it'd be 1/u. And I plug in 1/4 and 1/2.
I mean, Jimmy, if you have x, I don't see x, so you use x. It's still changing. Because that's x. You don't mark x. Would probably you wouldn't, right? Because they're not equal. Wait, no, yeah, you do. Because Jamie just told me to put together. That's reason.
No, you.
Because if you change it to
It's actually 1/2, right?
I take out this -1 from here to here. So it's easier to plug in.
let's see if because the degree of x itself is just s of x. I can get tricked.
X becomes u squared.
I'm gonna make sure that on the test I turn all of my fractions.
Isabel, do you get it right?
But you can turn the other x into 1.
Uh-huh.
One.
What?
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna leave this as it is.
I don't know what it's around.
There's no explanation for it. Then we'll get to it.
Check with Nor. What? I don't want you to do what? You did do it in terms of U-bound. You do 4 and 2.
But I didn't change like that. I didn't do it.
You did. Because you plug in 4 and plug in 2. You do it in terms of U. You did. You did 4 and 2. You got 4 and 2 here. You plug in 4 and 2. You didn't plug in 2 and 1.
You did it for the back.
Unless you do it in your head, I don't know. No, you didn't plug in 9 and 1. You plug in 4 and 2.
To get that to
9 and 1 into the u.
So this is a 4 and 2. This is 1 and 9, right? Why do you plug in 4 and 2?
That's because I put 9 in.
Yeah, that's because you did it in terms of U-bound.
Oh, so I did it right.
Yeah, I was like agreeing.
Yeah, so you.
I don't see anything. Oh, it's a whole homework selection. Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
You can check your answer online. Just do a parenthesis and dx. All right. Any other question before we go to the next one? All right, so we're gonna keep on going.
You 68. That was like the trick one.
That's not what I did. But
Yeah.
live streaming?
No, but I can live stream next year. Right?
Please do.
Why?
Oh, you put it in. I put the backup in the.
Okay.
Yeah, the only time it's backup is just.
So for this particular one, I'll go over the last one. For this particular one, u is equal to 2x, just because I know how to take an integration of cosecant cotangent of x. So all we gotta do is convert everything in terms of u, then I'll be fine. Du equal to 2 dx, and du over 2 equal to dx, and that's gonna be integration of pi. Nope. That's gonna double, so it's pi over 6, and this is pi over 2. And this is going to be cosecant of u, cotangent of u, and this one is du over half. And that's it. So then what's the integration of cosecant of u, cotangent of u? Negative cosecant, right? Between pi over 2 and the pi over 6. So negative 1/2 times cosecant of pi over 2 minus cosecant of pi over 6. I have no idea. That stinks 1. Cosecant of pi over 6 is 2, right? I think. So it's equal to 1/2.
It wasn't that bad. I was even worse.
One of that on the sign is 1/2
So inverse of 1/2. Reciprocal 1/2 is 2. Sine of pi over 2 is 1. Flip the 1 is going to be 1. Beautiful questions. All right, cool. Next one. We're going to talk about today approximation.
Oh, it's when he solved it, you got b over 2, and right on the outside.
Okay, what is the Riemann approximation? There are a few different kind of Riemann approximation. Riemann is start working with at the time around 1600. There was Newton, there was Riemann. They want to find area under the curve. But before you starting, Newton didn't get an idea from nowhere. It started from Riemann. Riemann says, hey, let's start with finding approximation. I cannot do it integral yet. Nobody have invented integral yet. So we're going to start by understand how to do approximation first, because we start with approximation and Newton come into play and Leibniz come in play. Leibniz and Newton says, hey, look, we can break up rectangle to infinite pieces. And using summation, use the idea of summation, use the idea of limits, and we can break up the rectangle to infinite pieces. But before that, it will start with Riemann. That's to say, hey, if I don't know how to do anything, I can brute force it. Brute force it if I can cut it to 4 interval. So, or 8 interval or 10 interval. So a perfect approximation will look like something like this. If I take this graph, right, we're going to take this graph and Riemann rectangle. So we're going to look at this function. So we're going to change the function to any function, let's say x squared. And we can break to, first of all, I can break to 4 pieces. And that looks like this. Okay, so, you know, I can do right end, left end, I can do midpoint, I can do trapezoid. So this is how the 4 thing supposed to be. I can send this link to you. You can play with it. So I'm gonna copy. I don't know how to send it to you. I can text to some people. Let me say text to who? Who do I know here? I don't know anybody's phone number, but whatever. I don't know who's. I don't have WhatsApp on iPad. Anyway, I'll figure out. I'll send a link later. So Riemann approximation. So basically, I will have all this approximation, and I can break to more pieces. Let's change to 8, right? It becomes more precise. It becomes more precise. This is trapezoid, so we don't do trapezoid. We do left and Riemann sum. Is it going to become more precise? We're going to go 16. It becomes more precise. So the approximation start with brute force. Brute force is going to approximate something. So let's talk about approximations, right? There are a few types of approximation. First, the right Riemann sum. Second, the left Riemann sum. Third, the midpoint rule. Fourth, the trapezoid rule. And you have this 4 approximation. Now, this 4 approximation, the most accurate one, I always go with trapezoid because I feel like trapezoid kind of work out the kink for other ones. But we're going to show you the drawing. We're going to start with a basic function. It says y equal to 2 to the x. No, sorry, change to 4. I don't like 2. There's a reason why I don't like 2. 4 to the x. y equal to 4 to the x. Did I spell trapezoid wrong? Trapezoid? How to spell trapezoid? Yeah, so I spelled it right.
There's an E or a.
Trapezoid? Yeah, whatever. Doesn't really care. Now for me, I like to draw out a graph. And I'll do a table, and there's a reason why I do that. And I'll show you a trick that I personally use, usually help a lot of students. Now, you don't have to do that, but it helps a lot of students figure out the values. For me, I'll plug in that this, for example, this is a 1/2 here, and this is a 1, and this is 3/2, and this is 4. So I'm gonna do is the first one, I'm gonna use the Riemann sum with 4 equal sub interval. So I don't do 8, I just do 4. I think that's manageable. 4 sub intervals. Yes, Ria. You cannot read something?
No, I can't.
Oh, I'm saying 2. Then you gotta tell me. I'm sorry. Riemann. I think it's a QN. Hold on a second. Let me check. I don't give a shit about the name.
I was wondering how it worked.
Oh, it's 2N. Riemann. It's 2N. I didn't know it's 2N. Okay, 4 equal sub interval, and you say okay, but the best thing is to draw out things. Anderson, put your phone away. I'll lock your phone. Then you cannot play Clash Royale for a while. Okay, so I'm gonna plug in a value. How do I know 4 sub interval? So the interval you can do is this. You can do b minus a over n. Why? You got b, which is 2. So we're gonna start at 0 to 2. Sorry. So we're gonna do 2 minus 0 over how many sub interval I want? 4, right? So this is equal to 1/2. So that means each half interval is I'm gonna count a rectangle. So I'm gonna start with 0. I'm gonna have 1, 3 over 2, and 2. I got 5 values. But if you have 5 values, you get 4 space in between. Right? So I'm gonna plug in the value. 4 to the 0 power is what? 4 to the half power. 4 to the 1 power. And 4 to the 3 over 2. 4 to the 2. 16. Good. So I'm going to use each one's 2. Okay, so I'm going to use that. So at 0, I'm going to get a value of 0. I'm writing down y output over there because every time this is my trick of doing things. Because I write down the output value, I know instantly. I use that height, the 0, the height is over there. So I'm going to show you 1/2. Oops, sorry, it's not 0. Is 1, right? Yeah, 1. So I'm going to write down 1 here. At half, I'm going to get 2, so I'm going to get like this. And that's 2. I'm going to write down 2. At 1, I'm going to get 4, so that's going to be 4. At 3/2, I'm going to get 8. I'm going to write down 8 there. And I'm going to write down 16 here. Why do I write down the y value? Because if I use that value, I know instantly I know it's 16. Now learn how to draw. If you learn how to draw, you get anything. So I'm gonna start by drawing. So first I'm gonna copy and paste. So I don't want it too lazy to redraw this. So copy. And so I'm gonna draw this. So I'm gonna draw base on here. Draw base on here. Draw base on here. Draw base on here. Let me ask you, is this over approximation or under approximation? Do you see as over? I'll show you the graph. The graph's actually like this. Is this over or under? Over. You see the extra piece hanging pieces, right? No, that's over approximation. Now, right now, I don't care about that over or under. I just want to find out that approximation. Now, each rectangle has a width of what? Half. Why? Because this from here to 1/2, from here's 1/2, from here's 1/2, and from here's 1/2. I can also use this equation, b minus a over n, that's half, times the right approximation. So I'm going to base on the right endpoint, so right height. So that's going to be 16 plus 1/2 times 8 plus 1/2 times 4 plus 1/2 times 2. Now I'm going to get an approximation. I'm going to do 1/2. I'm take out 1/2 outside. 16 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2. I can take out 1/2 like factoring out. So that equal to 30 over 2. That's equal to 15. I think. Somebody check my math. Is that okay? That's called right end approximation. That means I use rightmost value. Now, which value I did not use? 1 I did not use, right? So you got to understand I didn't use 1 value because you got 5 value, you got 4 space in between. If 4 space in between, I can only use 4 of the values. Either 4 rightmost value or 4 leftmost value, depends on what kind of Riemann sum I use. Now, the same thing I want you to do is, hey, can you do left approximation? So that's a 4 left Riemann sum. Okay, can you figure out which value I gotta use, which width I gotta use? I'll give you like 30 seconds ahead of time. You should be able to figure out in 30 seconds. Because there's, imagine that if you have 5 trees, that they are in a row. How many space between trees? 4. So we are worried about the space in between. We're not using how many trees they are. How do I use 4 left Riemann sum? Can you figure out for me? Now they are equal interval. Let me write down the equal interval. 4 sub it. So 4 sub interval. That's equal. 4 sub interval, equal interval. Sometimes on your homework, you're gonna have n equal intervals. So you're gonna have different width. You're gonna have to use calculator today to work it out, but on AP exam, sometimes you can write out the work and then they will give you credit. For example, you write out here, they should give you the credit. Don't oversimplify because more likely you're gonna simplify it wrong. On AP exam, if it's on free response, you stop right there. You don't keep on going. Because if you simple write wrong, they will actually give you a wrong answer unless you're very confident with your numbers. You got done? So remember the first time, I can copy and I can paste here, right? And I can use, now, the first time I use the 5 most value, so it'd be 16, 8, 4, and 2. That is a right Riemann sum. And that is over approximation, by the way, is over here. Over approximation, Why is over approximation? Why do you think it's over approximation? Now, the way to justify this on AP exam is over approximation because function is increasing. Because use right-hand approximation on right-Riemann sum. Why is using right-Riemann sum? Because if your function use increasing, right-Riemann sum is going to be over approximate. That's how you're going to justify something. I'm going to ask you, are they over or under? You're going to say over. Why? Because the function is increasing. Now, for left Riemann sum, again, which value I'm using? Half. What's the first value I'm using? 1 plus 1/2. What's the second value I'm using? What's the next? What's the next one? Good. Do I use 16? No, because look at this is the way I'm building my triangle, my rectangles. I'm using the 4, I'm using the 8. That's why I use that number 8 right over there. It's going to give you helping hands when you're doing calculation. And that's going to be 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8. And I think it's going to be 15/2. Now we'll just use. Well, I have a jet light mantra. Do you see that? Okay, there's 2 other things: midpoint rule and there's trapezoid rule. I'll make it on the video, but they are not hard. Okay.
That was crazy. Use like that when you look up.
I was like this.
Like when I said the dreams.
It always works. I don't know why.
You have to write it after. I think I'm gonna write about the Boston.
Are the other ones in the same method or in different order?
It's pretty easy. I'm gonna use midpoint rule.
Oh yeah, I think that's
Not necessary.
Because I thought about it.
It's not necessary. Depending on how the function goes too. So the function sometimes can be gonna be half as slow. This one's exponential. But what if it's half slow? It's not obvious. Probably better because but you have to watch a video and you have to.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be keeping up.
I mean, I think medicine was in Europe, and she come back, and she actually did better on her test. She actually first time got an 80. And, so yeah, maybe India will work too. And that's they don't have Wi-Fi over there. Yeah.
Have a good day.
You too. Well, I'm not gonna see you tomorrow.
No.
Okay. Have a good break. Trying to think about what's a word. What's up, Maddie? Bestie.
For the homework, last night, how do we know when it's like, I'll show you. Never mind. I'm just
Yes, you are.
Thank you so much.
Above confidence. We guess Josh is not here today.
When you like put in
Ugh.
when you put in the bounds, you multiply.
Why are you not here yesterday?
to apply like the.
Do you know what you're doing on your homework? No.
No, I didn't do. I
I didn't make a video because our internet's broken yesterday.
Yeah, I knew that it was. I was like, it was a combination of me being like sick, me knowing that like not much was going to be done yesterday. So I was like, if there's any day that I could take to be sick, it would be that day because I wouldn't want to miss it otherwise.
That's fine.
Oh, so you're sick.
No, I was sick. I was also trying to make sure I didn't get more sick because I also have to work on tomorrow. No, Friday. No, yeah, Friday's tomorrow.
Concert tonight.
Chorus.
Concert. I think everybody.
Or the Corbin in there?
Yeah, Corbin's in there.
No, I'm not. Just kidding.
Wow!
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
It's not true.
I'm just sure.
But it's like band, chorus, everybody.
I'll try to see.
Why are you all waiting outside of the room?
Oh, but you don't buy tickets.
Oh, is that for Mr. Yay? How dare you? Well, why were you all just waiting outside of the
I don't
room?
know. They're just holding the door. I was waiting for them to go.
Who's it quiet? Oh, who's it quiet?
Is that color?
Well, the last one I had was super small.
Elaine, did you see the picture I posted?
What?
Corbin?
Whoa.
Dude, there's no way you wasted all that, bro.
Right, you eat it.
I'm like,
Maddie,
Oh, look at him.
that's messed up.
Who is that?
I blocked their face out because they did not. They were like, please do not put me in. So I went back. Their name is.
I think
It's okay. You can eat it. We're not gonna judge you.
I think you know what?
There he is. Hi, Corbin.
You're about to put your poster. So
Oh!
whoa! Oh! Hey, Mr. Yang.
It's just like a sequence of me yelling.
Hey, Mr. Yang. Remember what today is?
I have no idea what today is.
Oh, someone already insisted. He said, I'm not going to go.
I think Mr. Graham's gonna remember.
I'm not going for a month.
We have that bed hair, man.
I showed Elaine. What? I showed Elaine. You showed everybody in the group chat and she hadn't seen it. She hadn't seen it. One second.
Remember, Dave said that it was red.
You showed everybody the picture. What do you expect?
All right, homework questions.
you do 61.
I did make that.
See, this is what I mean. You always throw the crap on my table.
I'm not being nice, really nice. I try my hardest. This VA doesn't. This VA
Wow, nice to meet you.
Wow,
Where you been?
you really made a really good team.
I love this test because I did around it than Ethan did.
You're gonna break it.
I am. What do you want?
You better
Or do you want the piece of trash?
You better break it.
Make it into a make it like
22 minutes.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Leaving my last class, I just fell. I like took a step a weird way, but I just like. Yes, that might leave.
It's like, it's literally like,
Weird. You could be on the floor. Basically, they're outside. So no, I might. I told you so much.
free stuff. Yeah, you're lost in that pencil's fine.
That's literally my. Okay, I don't like them.
I would have paid you $1 for this.
That's literally my.
You can't hold the light. Keep your camera on.
There's no way it's $1.
But yeah, I can't wait to
Spinner.
I gave him
You
all
live right next to me. That's not $1.
I forgot.
That's not $1.
it's 93.
Okay, from here to here about what?
Say like
3 miles?
carbon jacket. Okay.
So 6 miles.
Oh my gosh, no,
28 miles to the island.
It's around like 80 cents.
Hey, around
I
80.
don't know. I thought he was. You asked about it, so I assumed that you had left him here.
No, I checked it. Or because I checked recently.
I can't believe you've already.
Then if you calculate
already
your
replaced
part
it.
depreciation, and then everything is
Literally less than a day. 66? No. I didn't do last night's homework because. Why do you think that? Why?
Ethan, you need to go back to make it up.
And
Ethan.
now I need to work on it, Corbin. So I'm going to be learning alongside you.
You do 66?
I also need to get a new binder. This binder is very.
61, no.
Unfortunately, I have to wait till my dad gets home. The place where we have our all of our office supplies.
I do not know how to do this. I do. That's negative 1.
It's 1/2.
I don't even bring that basically, you just apply.
Let's see. I have
They think they like Harvard.
Let's just see by a lot of people.
All right. So I have some questions here. 61. What else?
Thank you.
Wait, what did you get?
Ethan, you need to go back to read through the homework because
Yes,
it's
I will.
important work. Benson, Aiden, you guys finished? Simon, did you do homework? You did do homework? How did you know how to do it? You have a friend? Who? Austin. Austin.
Did he come yesterday?
No. He's gonna be so behind. Is he coming today?
I can never speak for this. I never know. He's unpredictable.
Just like you. You guys are twins.
I don't ate really a lot.
It is really.
I'm really sweating.
Is it hot in this room?
No.
There's like no air circulation.
Can open a window.
Oh,
It does smell when I come into tutoring yesterday. I was like, whoa, that's strong smell.
Once the second semester is over, I don't think I'm feeling you. The only reason I put it through is for this class. Right? I don't care about anything.
Why? What are the other class you have?
I have 4 other classes. I don't really care.
What are the other classes?
I have AP, Lit,
AP psychology, they don't have that class on me.
A psychology makes me brain dead. That class is so like.
It's not hard though.
It's not hard. It's just like it's so easy. It makes me brain dead. I feel like my IQ lowers like. So.
It's a lot.
Just push it all the way up.
There we go. Wait, what's so bad about it? Psychology.
No, that's great better.
I have AP.
And you had to come into
Well, everything's good. No, everything is
I have
great.
AP though.
Yeah,
It's great.
those windows. I feel like some of them.
Okay.
I already have my.
Wait, Ron, can you do 61 correctly?
This is the only class I like.
You don't even see it?
Or no, most likely.
You got accepted FSU?
I didn't want to.
Yeah, some of them says they're not gay. Homework.
Ethan, what did you say?
For someone who says they aren't gay, you're very gay. It's coming from me. I'm not gay.
It's okay, Corbin.
I'm not gay.
We accept who you are.
No, literally, that is coming from me.
Wait, no.